Hello, Maura here. Welcome to our final week of 10 makeup and skincare mistakes that can age us, and we might not even know that we're doing them. Or it might be a super simple fix, which of course I'm always going to give you the fix when it comes to what the mistake is. So we have done 7 different tips this whole month, and so we're on to our last couple this week, and I hope you've enjoyed them. I'm so happy when you learn something new, or maybe you'll try something different because you're like, that's what I've been missing. And so we've hopefully found a solution for you too. So these last couple of things I think are also just really, really great. Maybe I'll just recap on what some of them were at the end, so that we can kind of go through all of them and make sure you can go back and check into anything if you needed to. So this week we are on to number 8, 9, and 10. And I had to squeeze them all in. When I thought, oh, we'll do something every week, I was like, yeah, 10, but oh my goodness. So hopefully it wasn't too many at a time for you. But number 8 this week is skipping the serum. So sometimes you think like, oh, I'm moisturizing, that's good. Moisturizer is a different texture. It's a different consistency. It gets absorbed differently into the skin than a serum. And so, yes, I'm on my little serum soapbox, but let's talk a little bit about it. Why do you need it? Failing to properly treat that thirsty skin. So number 1, are you exfoliating to get rid of the dead dry skin? We cannot hydrate dead dry skin. So you could be using so much stuff and your skin's not even absorbing it because it's just sitting on that exterior dead dry skin layer and won't be absorbed. So you got to get rid of that dead dry skin. As those skin cells turn over, exfoliate them away. And then a serum is really going to feed that thirsty skin. It because of its different texture, it's absorbed deeper and more easily into the skin. It's always going to be used before a moisturizer. And it's honestly easily one of the top 10 mistakes that people make in terms of making us look a little bit older. And even when applying makeup, if we're not using that kind of stuff, again, applying paint to a wall that's bumpy and it hasn't been sanded and it hasn't been prepped, then you're going to almost accentuate all of those things. And so all of this is just really helping to get that really flawless base. And even if you're not wearing any makeup, it's even better because you're not covering up anything that you might be trying to cover up. Okay, so particularly when it comes to dialing down the wrinkles, serum is one of your things. So if you are over 40, if you didn't know that, 41 this year, woo, and serum isn't part of your routine yet, then it's kind of time to remedy the situation. This is the solution to your situation. Okay, so it also helps seal in the moisture. So it'll help keep in that hydration and moisture that we have in the skin. So if you're working hard at using moisturizer and doing all the things, this is also going to help seal it in and keep it in. Okay. And then of course, everything goes on top of that. So it's hydrating, and it's honestly going to transform the texture of your skin. And it's just packed with botanicals and amazing ingredients. Now we have so many different kinds of serums that you can use. I had posted a little while ago in my client group, kind of a little flow chart where it talks about like, how do you find the right serum for your skin? So let's say, you're trying to improve your skin texture. If the answer is yes, then, you're going to want to go, if you're going to reduce your pore size, you're going to want to go for the pore minimizer. If you're not, but still wanting to improve the texture, you're going to want to go for our vitamin serum C plus E. If you are dealing with pesky breakouts, also the pore minimizer is going to be super, super helpful. If you're improving the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles or deeper lines and wrinkles or sagging skin, our lifting serum is incredible. Our advanced lifting serum, that's where we talk about the triangle of youth. That's kind of this area. And so that's just going to lift everything up. If you're wanting to help with the dark spots, sunspots, age spots, acne scars, those kinds of things, the tone correcting serum is incredible. And then our amazing retinol. If you guys have not tried our retinol or looked further into our retinol does all of these things. So really, you know, if you're using multiple serums, it might be time to kind of take a look at our retinol, and that could be a solution to all of it. I will post that again so that you're able to have a chance to look at that. Okay, next one, choosing the wrong lipstick tone. Who knew? So there's no questions about it. A lipstick can definitely change and do wonders to your image, how we look. It can dress things up, pull everything together. And don't be afraid to kind of experiment with some rich, fun colors for sure. But don't forget that lips are naturally narrow. If you have been blessed with beautiful full lips, I'm jealous. I do not have those. But if you have more narrow or smaller lips, you do want to kind of avoid the darker toned lipsticks. They will help make your lips look even thinner. And so generally we kind of want more fuller looking lips. And so you would probably want to look at more mauves or pinks so that they don't look even smaller, because lips lose their fullness over time. And so if you already have thinner, smaller lips, they're going to kind of get thinner and smaller as time goes on. And so you can also use a highlight like a lip gloss. Okay, and that's going to give the illusion of kind of more fullness, because anything that's lighter or even a little bit of shimmer is going to pull out and forward. And so that's where you might get the more illusion of a fullness. Or even I like to put a little bit of gloss kind of in that kiss spot. That also helps give the illusion of more of a little bit fuller lips. So you could put just a swipe of gloss just to kind of plump them up even more if you need that, like I do. If you decide to go for a darker shade, pick more of a sheer color or a gloss, something that doesn't have a flat kind of heavier finish, or even just dab a little bit of this on top of that, and pick a color that kind of matches your lips. A lip liner as well also helps. I think we've talked a little bit about that too. Yeah, that's going to work for you. And then don't use a darker liner than the lipstick. That's also going to it ages us, and it makes our lips look kind of pursed. Does that make sense? Okay, so there you go. Kind of mauves and more pinks if you've got smaller lips. Add a little bit of a highlight to help give a fuller kind of look, and use something that's not as flat or heavy finished. There you go. And last but not least, oh, don't skip your brows. We talk so much about this. I will post some pictures of this, of some people with brows or people that don't have brows, and what a difference that it makes, whether it be that they're so blonde that you can't see them, or that as time, you know, our brows get a little bit more sparse and thin, and they kind of start to kind of look like they're disappearing. But they really frame our face. They really do a whole lot. They can really give the appearance of an eye lift and just lift up our whole face. And it actually makes your eyes stand out more than if you didn't have that brow. And so, you know, again, they just kind of get a little bit more sparse. Or if you totally tweeze them all away in the past and they never grew back, then, you know, over grooming them, then you might be in need of a little something. So you want to have some definition by kind of filling them in with a pencil. And I love our brow pencils. They are incredible. They are so smooth. They don't look powdery. They don't look wet. You know how like some gels or things can look really wet. I find you can really create a brow that looks like you have just had them microbladed. And so that might totally not be your thing, but you do want to have that brow. So you could do a pencil. You could also use our brow tint, our volumizing brow tint, which really grabs onto the hairs and gives that much fuller looking brow. Generally together, because one kind of fills them in and helps create the shape, and one kind of fills them out. And so, you know, we've talked so much about brows in the past, about mapping and filling them in and defining them. And I usually suggest go for a color that's a little bit lighter than your natural hair color, because once you do put them on and fill them in, they will be darker. And that's the other thing. If you're not used to having brows, when you do fill them in, you're going to be like, whoa. But make sure that, you know, you're going to get used to it. And then definitely use a brush once you've applied it to just kind of, sometimes we have one spot that's a little bit darker, or you just want to help lay those hairs flat. But it's totally going to help. Even if you have wild, crazy brows, the volumizing tint can also just help kind of calm them and groom them, those wild brows. Okay, so those are our 10 things. I hope you loved them. Tell me what your absolute favorite tip of all of the 10 things were, or what was your wow, what did you learn of all of those? Maybe it was before the liner on the lower lids, maybe it was powdering your face, you know, too much. Maybe it was about the cheek and not going on the apples of your cheeks. You know, what was it? What was your favorite tip? What did you love? What would you guys like to learn next as we move into spring? Hopefully, finally spring. It was hailing here yesterday. Oh my goodness. But we have some really exciting news. We have a new product launch coming out. You might have heard that our under eye depuffer got launched early yesterday. You guys, incredible product. I will post some pictures here too. It's now available early before any of our other products are being launched as of May 16th. But we have a very special event for you where you're going to get to see everything a little bit earlier. And it's going to be on May 11th. We'll also be celebrating Mary Kay's birthday, which is May 12th. And it's going to be so much fun. You are going to get to meet an amazing guest and friend of mine, Angela Dean, who's a makeup artist, and she's going to teach you some incredible tips on using some of these brand new products that are coming out, and how to create a really great, easy spring look. And then I have a wonderful other special guest. She grew up pink. Her mom was one of the top people in Canada. She was a pioneer in Canada. And we're just going to get to hear a few things from her. She earned her very first Mary Kay top director trip last year. And she's just an incredible person. And I just think it's so fun to just learn a couple of things of what it might have been like to grow up in that household. So anyways, there you go. Those are your tips. Now, hopefully you will join us to see all the new stuff that's coming out before it's even released, and learn some really new great tips from a professional makeup artist. So let me know if you've got questions that I can ask ahead of time that we can get answers to. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest